You've imagined it, you've visualized it, you felt it for a moment, that rush of it's done, but then reality hits, doubt creeps in, and suddenly you're right back in the old state wondering what you did wrong. What if the problem isn't that you can't stay in the state of the wish fulfilled, but that no one ever showed you what that actually means? You see, you don't hold the state through effort. You become it through identity. It's not about constant affirmations or forcing belief. It's about dissolving the version of you who's still waiting. Because when you are the wish fulfilled, you are not checking for signs, you are the sign. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly how to shift into that state and, more importantly, how to stay there. So your outer world has no choice but to catch up and reflect your shifted state. And if you're new here, hello, I am your Muse Traci. On this channel, I teach manifestation the Neville Goddard way, not through endless efforting and struggle, but through identity alchemy. Together, we peel back the false layers of programming so you can wake up each morning with the knowing that your reality is your creation and start to move through your life with this calm, peaceful, confident knowing. So let's get into it, what the state actually is. Let's start with what Neville actually meant by the state of the wish fulfilled. He wasn't talking about pretending. He wasn't talking about fake it till you make it. He was describing a state of consciousness, a way of being where your inner world is already aligned to the end you desire. He said the feeling of the wish fulfilled must be assumed until it has the tones of reality. That means it's not about how perfectly you imagine or how often you visualize. It's about the quality of the inner experience you return to, the quality of the inner experience that you achieve. Your outer world always matches the state you're most familiar with, not the one you visit once in a while, every so often, but the one you live in the most. This is exactly why most people experience a very similar reality over and over and over again. So this isn't about controlling thoughts. It's about anchoring your identity through visualization. The wish-fulfilled version of you doesn't have to maintain that feeling 24/7. They simply know and have decided where they live. So let's clear up the myth of staying in the state. I hear this from a lot of clients, and let's clear this up once and for all. You will not live in the state perfectly all the time. It's not going to happen. Even Neville didn't. He fell out just like we all do. The difference is he didn't panic when he did. He simply brought himself back. He said, a change of feeling is a change of destiny, meaning every time you notice you've fallen back into doubt, into fear, into the old identity, you're being invited to shift once again. And this was one of the most powerful shifts that I made myself when I was learning to do this, to stop beating myself up and, think that I was failing and doing it wrong when I fell out of the state. To literally have no judgment about it or about myself, to just recognize it without judging so that I could get back to shifting back just that much faster, right? If we just cut out the judgment and the whatever you're doing to beat yourself up, you just have that much more time available to just get back into the state, to shift that much faster. And really, that's the whole point. It's not about staying in the state forevermore. It's about developing the skill of returning to it faster, right? Cutting down the time that you're spending outside of the state. That's where your power lives. Each time you bring yourself back, you strengthen the neural pathways and the energetic pathways of the new identity. It starts to feel natural, automatic, inevitable, which is exactly how we want it to feel. So how do you actually shift into the state of the wish fulfilled? Here's what I teach my coaching clients, and it's simple. It's quite simple, but it is profound. So step one, pause and acknowledge where you are right now. You can't shift from a state you're denying, right? So we have to be honest with where we are right now. If you're feeling fear, if you're feeling lack or longing, just notice it. No judgment. Don't label it as bad. Just become aware. Oh, I've been in a state of waiting again. Awareness is the doorway back into the desired state, right? So step one, pause, become aware, ask yourself, honesty and non-judgment is so important here. Step two, remember your desired end. Neville said, go to the end and dwell there. So you can close your eyes, breathe, ask yourself, what does the version of me who already has it feel like right now? You don't have to force a visualization, just feel that tone of reality, feel the tone of that desired reality. And it can be subtle at first. It's just this quiet knowing that says it's done, right? It's not wild ecstasy that you're going for here. It's a calm, peaceful sense of satisfaction, of contentment even. Step three, express from that state. So now bring that feeling into the present moment. How would that version of me respond to this text that's in front of me? How would that version of me carry themselves at work? How would that version of me, be thinking right before bed, right before my head hits the pillow and I'm falling asleep? What would I be thinking? Would I be adding up the day and recounting what wasn't there? Probably not. And so you live from that. Even if it's only for a few minutes, that's the shift. And every time you do it, you're solidifying your shift so that the outer reality can start to rearrange. So now let's talk about staying in this state. Staying doesn't mean being perfect all the time. It means practicing awareness so that when you do slip out of it, you catch yourself quicker and you return faster. That's it. Don't put this unrealistic expectation that you have to stay there for forevermore. That's not realistic. When you fall into fear or impatience, don't spiral. That's just your old self resurfacing once again. Instead of fighting it, just observe it, right? We don't need to resist. We just observe. Remind yourself, this is just a thought pattern. It's not who I am anymore. And then gently shift back into your end. This is emotional alchemy. You're training your nervous system to feel safe in the new identity. That's how you stabilize the state. Over time, you'll notice something powerful. You stop needing constant reassurance. You stop checking for signs. You stop chasing evidence because you're having such a real internal experience that the outer becomes irrelevant. And you just know the outer world is always mirroring your inner space, your inner world. So next is the integration phase. Here's where integration comes in, the bridge between the spiritual and the psychological. When you fall out of the state, your shadow is likely going to show up. The part of you that still believes it's not safe to have what you want. And, instead of pushing that part of you away, any way that the shadow shows up, this is just one example, instead of pushing it back down into the shadow, you want to bring it to the light and just integrate it. So you simply say, it's okay, you're allowed to be here, whatever this part of you is. If it's fear, if it's doubt, just say to that part of yourself, you're allowed to be scared. You're allowed to be in doubt for this moment. We're safe. And we've already got it, right? So you acknowledge that part of yourself, accept it, don't push it away, don't deny it, don't shame it. You have to bring it into the light and accept it, allow it to be there, but then you get to choose. So this is how you unify all the fragmented pieces of yourself and integrate them back into the whole where, of course, they're meant to be. Integration is staying in the state because you're no longer fighting yourself. You're no longer judging yourself. You're no longer shaming and blaming yourself. You're bringing all parts of you into the wish fulfilled. Neville said, be still and know that you are that which you desire to be. That stillness isn't the absence of thought. It's the absence of inner conflict. That's what we're trying to integrate. When all of you agrees, manifestation becomes effortless. Exactly what I teach in my coaching program. So here's your reminder. Falling out of the state doesn't mean you failed. Please let that go for forevermore. And again, non-judgment, acceptance, it's only going to make your process faster, more efficient, easier. And judgment and shame, it doesn't feel good. So here's your permission. You get to let go of that and it's only going to benefit you. It means, it falling out of the state means you're human. It means you're trying, right? At least you're trying. Each moment is a new invitation to choose who you now are. Every return strengthens your new identity, and soon it's not just a state you visit, it's who you are. Don't ask, how do I stay there? Ask, how quickly can I return every time I fall out? That's how the masters create. So if this resonates with you and you're ready to not just understand this intellectually, but actually live it, then you can click the link down below in the description or the pinned comment for my 1-month transformational program, coaching program. This is where we go all in. We work together to dissolve the layers of doubt, fear, limitation that keep pulling you out of the state, right? There's reasons why we fall out of the state, and we want to look at that too. We integrate your shadow, reprogram your subconscious, and anchor you into your natural identity as the operant power. This is not surface level manifesting. This is identity transformation. This is a permanent shift that you're making, a permanent transformation. You're not going to be able to go back from this, which is a good thing. Because once you become the version of you who already has it, everything you desire starts to rush in. So again, you can check out the links down below. And thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.